I talk, you listen. Welcome to my one-man panel of madness. All right, everyone, this is Dr. Geohu, and all right, Picard. Let's see, we're up to episode 3, and what did I think of the third episode? Well, we're getting there, and this segment is probably going to be a short one, just because there wasn't a lot, really that kind of caught my attention, except, of course, the return of Hugh, which is kind of cool. I'm just still trying to figure out how these former Borg fit into the storyline, I guess. Like, we know the Romulans have taken over this artifact, which is the Borg cube, and gathering whatever they can, I guess, from the technology, and Hugh is part of it. But I still have a lot of questions, and I think with each episode, I get more and more questions. It's like almost each episode is not really answering much, but on the best part of it all, I think, was just the last few moments when Picard gets back, in space and says those amazing words, engage, and it ends with the theme to The Next Generation, which is really cool. But there's so much going on, and yeah, I'm just hoping that by the time we get to the 10th episode, we see what's happening. And so they're on their way out now to search for Bruce Maddox. And I don't know. I have a feeling there's something not right about. I don't know if they're really going to find him. I think that their journey is trying to find him, to find out more about Data and what possibly Data could have given him to make such realistic androids. Or synthetics, I guess. Sorry. Anyways, but one of the cool things is seeing Jonathan Delarco come back as Hugh Borg. A long time ago in a galaxy very far away, when I was, I think I was 15 years old, and it could have been 1995. I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, I attended my very first Star Trek convention. And this is like before internet, Wi-Fi, and all this other crap that everybody's so attached to today. This is where you had to read about Star Trek stuff through magazines, and Starlog was one of them. There was the Star Trek magazine. There was a Star Trek Next Generation magazine. There was all these different magazines that you had to get. Now, at the time, I was living in Puerto Rico, so it was like Death Valley for me. I had to go into this other town, like 30 minutes away, San Juan, which is the town that most people go to when they visit Puerto Rico, anyways. And it's the only place I could find there was a comic book. No, it wasn't a comic book store. Maybe. Oh, actually, it was a comic book store. I don't even remember. And the guy there, he spoke English, because I always had a very big problem speaking Spanish. And this is where I would get my stuff. He was kind of like my dealer. And so if there was a specific magazine and he knew it would sell out really fast because other people were looking for it, he put one aside for me. And so it was really exciting to learn that there was going to be, for the very first time, a Star Trek convention in Puerto Rico, the very first one in on the island, which was kind of cool. And I think I had just seen, I could have been Trekkies. For whatever reason, I knew I had to wear cosplay. So I told my mom, we went off to a fabric store, and we happened to find the classic tunic pattern. So she made it. I picked red because I wanted the command color. And even though in the original series the command color was gold or mustard, whatever, I wanted to be kind of make my own costume. So I did. And what I did was I incorporated like shoulder pads, to make the costume. So my idea was to take what possibly could have been on The Next Generation, but my own version. And, so anyways, I attended my very first convention, and Jonathan Delarco happened to be the first and only guest, him and Richard Arnold, which, funny enough, I run into, at least once a year at the Gallifrey 1, Doctor Who convention. And last year, I finally just like, I got to tell this man that he was at my very first convention. And I remember everything he said. Plus, he's one of the reasons I started writing and so forth, because I wanted to be a writer on Star Trek. And he was all like welcoming and gave me an address to the production office. It was awesome. Remembered it. So seeing Jonathan Delarco come back is kind of cool. Because I actually got to spend time with him and talk with him. And this is a very young Jonathan, because I was in my teens. I don't remember how young he was, but I know he had like the long hair. And, I spent time talking to him because at this convention, there was maybe, I think about 100 people, about a handful of people. It wasn't a huge convention. I think it was like a small little, convention room that they rented in his one hotel. But still, it was the very first convention I ever went to, and he was there, and I had him autograph a photo of him as Hugh, and also one of the magazines that I had with Hugh on the cover. So it was really cool to see that. So it was exciting for me to see him come back. But I think because I think they should have kind of kept that a secret, because like when he appeared, I was like, oh, okay, it's Hugh. But it wasn't like a big reveal, and maybe that's what they wanted. They didn't want Hugh to be like a huge reveal or anything like that. And we still haven't seen Jerry Ryan, so I'm waiting for that as well. But it looks like he's just portraying almost like an older Hugh. He's no longer, and it's funny that he just doesn't have that robotic sensibility that he did when he was in Iborg, and then in the later, Descents, in the episodes, sorry, I lost my train of thought on that one, but it was the episode, series, season 6 ending, and 7 opener. I think it's Descents. I think it is. Anyways, look it up, whatever. So yeah, it was cool to see him, but I don't know, I felt like I was missing Hugh. This was like grown up older Hugh, which is kind of cool. And it's only been one episode, so I still want to see what's going on. But yeah, I just feel like I'm getting more and more questions, and I'm kind of like waiting for Picard to get out there and start searching. And so far from the preview from the next episode, it looks like they're going on this voyage, and they're going to try to pick up people here and there to help them out. The next episode looks kind of cool, so we'll see what that one brings. But we finally have a starship, and I've been dying to see what starships are like now, 20 some odd years after, the Next Generation. Like I said before, I want to see the Enterprise. Like, what is the new Enterprise, and who's the captain of the new Enterprise? So these are just little things. I'm sure that will be revealed, but I do enjoy it. I do like the show. The last 2 episodes, like I said, I think they're giving me more questions. And when a show gives me more questions, I don't have time to really say, oh my God, I loved it, because I have questions and I don't know what's going on. So I definitely want to see what is going on. And hopefully next episode, it's not going to give us all the answers, but I want to know more. Like, I want to know what's going on with the Romulans. They're on Earth. I'm sure they're up to some kind of devious action, but they're hurting themselves at the same time. There's so much going on, but hey, that's why I love science fiction, even though Captain Picard never got into it, which was funny. I thought that was great, that Captain Picard can't get into sci-fi. And anyways, whatever. So yeah, that's what I have this week. Let's find out what comes up next episode. And it's very exciting. These next few weeks have been very exciting with all the sci-fi stuff going on, whether it's Doctor Who, Star Trek. Birds of Prey is out now, so I definitely got to go and see that. But I've got so much planning to do for Gallifrey 1 that I'm not sure if I'll be able to get to see that right away. But it looks already kind of fun and cool, so we'll see. All right, that's all we have for today. Catch us on our next segment. Peace.